You our developing story from the Queensland bushfire zone. Relieved residents have been returning to their homes with only one home destroyed but many suffering minor damage. Live now to Tom Connell, who's in the Peregian Beach estate. Tom, what's the advice to residents there?
Well, Chris, right at the moment in Peregian Beach, they're still not allowed back in there, but the main issue is just making sure the situation is safe and some of the smouldering trees and so on don't reignite. Where I am right here in Peregian Beach, well, the situation behind me is quite illustrative of what happened here, and that is, for most people, a close call. You can see behind me a lot of burnt-out hinterland, in the distance as well some homes, and then right next to us as well, another home right here. This is yet another one that was managed to be saved by firefighters. So the flames and the burnt-out hinterland there, you can see, came within 20 metres or so of this particular house. And that's quite typical of several areas we've been to today. Only one home, believe it or not, was destroyed. And that home, in fact, wasn't one right on the edge of this fire. What's been interesting about some of the houses that were damaged, we'll show you some of these pictures now, is it was actually spotting. The wind was so strong on Monday night when the force of this fire was coming through. The spotting was landing randomly across suburbs, right in the middle of them sometimes, burning down fences sometimes, burning down trees as well. And there's just little pockets of burning in some of these streets, including along fence lines. But firefighters, even in that dangerous situation, this was after people had been evacuated, firefighters were in there putting out these blazes. So a remarkable effort. Just one home has been confirmed destroyed so far. Some others have suffered some damage as well. We spoke to one of the homeowners who had a pretty easy clean-up, all things considered, just some burnt fence, and we spoke to him earlier. So were you here when this was happening yesterday?
Well, no, the day before. It was, it was all happening during the night, during the evening. Yeah, so it was pretty full on. We evacuated in time, so we were safe. But, we just left so quickly that you didn't have time to drop the umbrella or anything like that. So now it's all got, the embers were incredible, the force of the firestorm.
So you've got to remember, Chris, all of those people were evacuated. They went off, they waited, they saw the force of the fire, some incredible pictures as well. Some of them were looking at aerial shots, hoping there was no damage to their properties. They went back and saw, for the most part, just a few random bits of damage from those embers being blown off from the front of the fire that the firefighters managed to ward off so well. We've had updates throughout the day recently as well from another firefighter who was there warding off these flames near a shopping centre as well.
They're lucky they've got a decent fire break that's been cut through the between the easement and the properties here, so that was certainly a big help.
And conditions looking a bit better today to bring this under control?
Absolutely, yeah. Conditions have eased right off. We've had a wind change, and just today's focusing on strengthening those control lines.
So that was earlier at Peregian Beach. Chris, it's almost cold right now. That's good news in terms of the temperature. The wind's still up a little bit, and we know that can fan the flames. But the last I heard, this wasn't an official update all the way up in the top of the command, but a source that should know within a Queensland fire here, was they said the fires here are pretty much out, so they're hopeful they'll be able to get them right under control in this region at least, remembering there's about 80 or so that have been burning right across the state, though, and of course we've got the issue in New South Wales as well. But here at Peregian Beach, a lot of relieved locals.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Tom Connell there reporting live from Peregian Beach. Let's stay in that area where Brendan Smith can join us as well. Brendan, what's the word you're getting from there, and weather conditions are pretty cool and calm there, we can see too?
Yeah, just touching on Tom's point, it is actually quite chilly. There are a couple of ominous clouds hanging overhead. I did feel one raindrop, but it doesn't look like that's going to follow through with a big drenching. I'm actually on David Lowe Way, which is one of the main entry points to Peregian Beach. As you can see behind me, extremely burnt out. Behind my camera, there's rows of houses, so that just shows how close those flames came. To the left of me, there's actually a tree which has been burnt right next to a home, so those ferocious flames did come extremely close. We've got the Energex crews getting power restored to homes. As Tom said, there are 80 or so fires still burning across Queensland, but all of them are contained and aren't posing an ongoing threat at the moment. That cool change is sweeping through. In terms of what the Bureau of Meteorology says, they say there is that cool change starting today and leading into the week, but it could ramp up from Friday with a very high fire danger. Here's what they had to say.
While the next 2 days what might present a reprieve for our firefighters, they will be managing their fatigue, and I do want to thank personally and on behalf of the government, all the other state jurisdictions who have come to our aid and who have offered up firefighters over the next couple of days so our Queensland firefighters can have a bit of a reprieve and get some rest.
I suppose the good news is that even though we're going to see a southwesterly wind burst like we did over the past weekend, we're not expecting that to be as strong as we experienced over the past weekend. But still, people should be mindful that we will see a return to those very high fire danger ratings on Friday and over the weekend.
So that first grab was obviously Acting Premier Jackie Trad, just thanking the firefighters for their mammoth effort over the past couple of days. Not only Queensland firefighters, but firefighters from Victoria and New South Wales as well. At any one time, there were more than 100 firefighters on that front line dousing those flames to protect these homes and family members. As I say, Chris, just hours ago, Peregian Beach residents were let back into their homes. Some big sigh of relief from many residents, no doubt, who've been in those evacuation centres since Monday evening. So some good news for them finally being able to return to their homes. But as the bomb said, we're not quite out of the woods yet. That very high fire danger on Friday, but hopefully firefighters can stay abreast of that.